here's my thoughts on why I think we should have folk style wrestling for women in college. Number one, a lot of girls don't have coaches who know much about freestyle. So here they are, they're trying to get recruited to wrestle in college, and they wrestle folk style in their high school state tournaments. And a lot of the recruiting comes from how they do in junior nationals, the cadet national duels and things. And if they're just kind of treading water out there on the mats, they don't know what they're doing on a freestyle wrestling mat, it hurts their chances to get recruited, where maybe a much lesser folk style wrestler might have a tremendous gut wrench, or at least know how to counter an ankle lace, and she goes out there and places in junior nationals, and voila, she gets recruited into college wrestling. I will tell you, years ago, Brian Smith at Mizzou, he's like, I don't even recruit from junior nationals. He's like, and he named a guy, I won't name him because you guys will probably know who he is. He won junior nationals twice and never did very well in college. And he's like, it makes you think. I want to see those kids on bottom. I want to see if they can ride. I want to see if they can mat return. I want to see if they can stalemate bad positions and score. John Smith says, and it's true, in my opinion, folk style wrestling's harder. It's a grueling sport. Some of you might say, well, freestyle's more exciting. Well, if it was more exciting, then how come when, you go to the World Team Trials, there's like 2,000 people there. The NCAA's next weekend in Tulsa, there's going to be 20,000 people there. And, I don't know how many watching at home, a couple 100,000. The U.S. Open, no one will go watch that. It won't be televised. And if it was, no one would watch it. If people would watch it, they would televise it. So I just think, and I love freestyle. We're starting freestyle after Virginia Beach. So we have a freestyle season, and we're really into it. And our kids are going to the World Team Trials. But as women's wrestling, we're going to want to share the fan base of the men's college team. And I don't think we're going to have a lot of the wrestling fans who aren't familiar with freestyle flooding the bleachers to watch the women's college dual meets or tournaments when they're not familiar with the sport. So I think it hurts the girls' chances of being recruited, and I think it's going to hurt the growth, because you're going to want, people are going to wait and see. They're going to sit and wait and see and say, I don't know if we should add this yet. This athletic director, they don't like to rock the boat because, they're running on a strict budget. They're going to wait and see what happens over there, before they add it to their college. And if what happens over there is, 402 people coming to watch a dual meet when there was, 2,900 or 4,700 at the dual meet, at NC State versus UNC, and UNC pretend has a girls team and no one's showing up, the NC State athletic director is going to be very apprehensive. So I feel like it's pretty important to stick with folk style. And after folk style season, which is about 7 months, you have 5 months, the college men and women, they transition into freestyle at that point in time. Nowadays, freestyle wrestling is a takedown match anyway. I don't really like it. I think the rules were great when you actually got a chance to be on top and bottom. So I don't like the fact that it's basically a takedown match now. But that does benefit a Team USA, doesn't it? I mean, just see what's happened over the past, handful of years, that they've changed the rules in freestyle wrestling and basically made it a takedown match. It's more physically demanding. Conditioning is a much more part of it. The step out rule, the push out rule, the passivity calls. Just the toughness and endurance of the very gritty folk style American wrestler who's been doing this since they were 6 years old, stepping onto a freestyle match where, some of these other countries, they're playing the the strategic game. They call it wrestling an art form in other countries. They always use the word chess match. Well, now that it's a takedown match, there's other components that are at play. So I don't see women's Team USA, women's world teams all of a sudden being terrible because they have to wrestle folk style in college. In fact, I think it's going to help because I think more women's teams are going to add women's wrestling. So therefore, you bring more women into post high school wrestling. Now there's a bigger number of women who are trying to make Team USA, and the more people competing, the cream rises to the top. So whoever's the last woman standing is probably going to be pretty tough. So I think it's actually going to help Team USA. And people say, well, I think we should just do freestyle even in kids wrestling in America. Different argument. I'm talking women's wrestling. So, there's my thoughts. You can agree or disagree. Love to hear your thoughts, though, in the comments. I read all those. I don't respond to all of them because sometimes it's too many. But, subscribe, share this on YouTube, and, let me know what you think. You might have some better insight than I do, but, this is starting to happen, and I think it's time to consider some of this.